Yes. So we are back. I want to finish this today. I'll give a part of analysis, type of analysis, which is going to help, I guess, if you can write it down. I've always told you to keep a pen and paper with you or a notebook. The last leaf actually begins establishing the story's setting, which is the artistic enclave of New York's Greenwich Village. Before introducing any characters, the narrator digresses to explain how the neighborhood is known for its winding, peculiar streets. The anecdote about the bill collector getting spun around and meeting himself coming back establishes that this setting is one in which ironic rebels of expectations may take place. In this anecdotal mini story, the narrator primes the reader for the main story's ironic twist ending. There was a twist in it, right? The narrator's ironically detached tone continues into the main story as O. Henry personifies New York's deadly pneumonia outbreak, comparing the illness to a cruel man who preys on the weak. Johnsy was raised in California, and the constant warmth made her unprepared for a miserable New York November. So, New York's deadly pneumonia outbreak, comparing the illness to a cruel man who preys on the weak. How the cruel man always goes upon the dead, so that illness is getting onto the weak people. So it's compared with Johnsy, as she was raised in California. It's a sea beach area, the warm weather, constant warm weather, made her unprepared for a miserable New York November. New York is damn cold. So, the narrator's ironically detached tone continues into the main story. As O. Henry personifies New York's deadly pneumonia outbreak, comparing the illness to a cruel man who preys on the weak. Full stop. Johnsy was raised in California, and the constant warm weather made her unprepared for a miserable New York November. So this weather was like an cruel man attacking on the weak. So she was weak because she was coming from this warm area. She was never accustomed to this cold. Got my point? The theme of willpower and fate are introduced when the doctor gives his pessimistic diagnosis. Straightforward. He believes that modern medicine is only effective if a patient has the will to live. Johnsy, however, is certain that she is fated to die. Willpower and fate. So willpower is what you must have the will to live, then only you will be better, you will recover. This is same thing happening in Corona also. You have to have the willpower. Be positive in life. Whatever happens, don't worry. Be happy. Things will come and go. So, the motive of the Bay of Naples, Naples. The motive of the Bay of Naples, which Johnsy wishes one day to paint. She wanting to paint the Bay of Naples. First arises when the doctor asks Sue if Johnsy has anything to live for. What is that? So she said she likes painting, she wants to paint this. It is also significant that the doctor dismisses the notion that art could be the thing that would keep Johnsy alive. Just as Berman's painting of a leaf is precisely what keeps Johnsy alive. Right? My explanation is to the point, it's making sense. Now, there is a theme of art and fate are also conveyed through Sue's illustration. It may seem a bit inconsequential, out of place, that she is drawing an illustration for a story. Now she needs a model. So her need for a model is what will prompt her to ask Behrman for help. So incidentally she will tell him also that Jauncey is ill and believes her fate is tied up with the ivy leaves. So the information which will lead to Behrman to paint a leaf on the wall. Art and fate. Art and fate. Therefore, Sue is seemingly unimportant illustration. It's not so important, it's just in the story for them to get in touch. This Behrman and Sue will end up being directly connected to Jauncey's fate. That art will get directly connected to Jauncey's fate. Right? Understood? I'll come back in the next video.